Hello, are you wondering about how the affidavit support works or what it is? Well, this video is for you. I'm Molina, immigration attorney based in Dallas, Fort Worth, serving clients worldwide. And today I'll be talking about the affidavit of support. Perhaps one of the most cumbersome or confusing parts of what I do every day is handling an affidavit support. So a lot of things make the affidavit support itself confusing. But for example, it's not really an affidavit. It's a form. It's form I-864, but we call it the affidavit support. Additionally, the regulations controlling how it's interpreted or how it works have changed a lot in the last few years. Another thing that you should know, and I'll be remiss not to mention, is that you're probably going to be hearing a lot about the affidavit support in the coming weeks. What happened is that the Biden administration passed a new regulation in 2022 after the Trump administration passed another regulation. And now the current regulation says that there are certain factors that the adjudicator should consider. And even after considering those factors, in certain circumstances, even a person has used public benefits in the past, they will not necessarily be presumed to be public charge. What happened is that Congress, the Senate, just passed a simple majority resolution trying to invalidate the regulation. It's very likely going to be passed on to the House of Representatives, which will very likely carry. But President Biden has said that he will veto that law. So the likely effect is that it's going to stay in the books. So it's a lot of political fodder from both sides, but things are very likely going to remain the same. And here's where we stand. Okay, so let's talk about what the affidavit support is. Well, I just said that as a form, but it's also a contract with three parts. It's a contract between the petitioner and the beneficiary, meaning the U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident petitioning that person, the individual being petitioned, and the U.S. federal government. All right, so it's a three-way contract. So the first aspect of the affidavit of support is that the petitioner, the person signing it, is promising to the beneficiary, person receiving the benefit, that they are going to ensure that they live above a certain income threshold. So meaning very like 125% over the poverty line. And then what that threshold is depends on the household size. All right. So, you know, it varies according to the household size, and also varies whether the person is a member of the military or if they live in one state or another. So that's a little confusing. I understand that. It gets even better. Okay, so you're also promising to the federal government as a petitioner, the one signing it, that should this person receive a public benefit for which they're not qualified, that you're going to reimburse the government. Okay, so how does the government enforce this provision? They enforce it by bringing a lawsuit against the petitioner. And they can bring a lawsuit against the person who received the benefit and the person who signed the affidavit of support, right? So that's why it's a three-part contract between beneficiary, petitioner, and the government. So who is eligible to be a petitioner or a joint sponsor? So they must be either a lawful resident or U.S. citizen. You must show that you have permanent resident or domicile in the U.S. You must be over 18 years old, and your income must be over that threshold. Additionally, in most cases, you must show that you have a source of income. So, you know, providing either a letter from your employer or pay stubs is very helpful. And others, you're able to use assets to show that you have enough income to support that person. And then importantly, you must reside in the U.S., right? So that's why other categories of people that are lawfully living in the U.S. are not eligible, because you must show that you have permanent residence in the US. Now, that's how you get into agreement. So how do you get out of the agreement? So number one, if the beneficiary becomes a US citizen, there's no more affidavit support. Okay, they're a US citizen and it doesn't abide. If the beneficiary passes away or they renounce their lawful permanent residence, also the responsibility goes away. And in some other cases, if the beneficiary has filed or reported 40 quarters of returns to the IRS or the Social Security Administration's office, the responsibility goes away because they have their 10 years or 40 quarters of filing in the US. Now, folks, I really do understand that this is confusing. Okay, if you have any questions, please consult an experienced immigration attorney that can help you understand the process, or perhaps help you file in your particular case. Now, if you like these videos, please hit like, share, maybe follow us or drop a comment. We really appreciate it. Again, my name is Jorge Molina. Thank you for watching.